Welcome to part 13 of the 39-story Treehouse by Andy Griffiths and Terry Denton. Chapter 13, the last chapter. Terry sighs. There, he says. That's it. I think you forgot something. I say, what? Jill. I say, oops, says Terry. One Jill coming right up. How's that? Says Terry. Too tall. I say. Terry draws her again. How about this? He says. Too short. How about this? Says Terry. Just right. I say. Jill blushes. Terry giggles. I look around to see what's so funny. Terry has drawn love hearts just above my head. Terry, I say, cut it out. Sorry, Andy, says Terry, removing them with his laser eraser. How's that? Much better, I say. Okay, says Terry. Well, if you two lovebirds will excuse me, I'd better go and finish coloring in all the fish in the sea. He runs off laughing. I tried to draw Silky as... What's going on, says Jill. All my animals disappeared and then I disappeared. Yeah, sorry about that, I say. I'm afraid you and your animals got uninvented. Uninvented, says Jill. How? Professor Stupido, the famous uninventor, did it. I explained. We asked him to uninvent our Once Upon a Time machine, but he ended up uninventing the whole universe, including himself. Terry's only just finished drawing everything back again. What about Silky? Says Jill. Is she all right? I look around, but I can't see her anywhere. I think Terry might have forgotten about Silky, I say. Jill's eyes fill with tears. Don't cry, I say quickly. I'll fix it. How? Says Jill. I'll draw you a new Silky. I didn't think you can draw, she says. Not as well as Terry, no, but how hard could it be to draw a flying cat? I say, they're just a few circles, whiskers, wings, and a tail. I try to draw Silky the best as I can, but she doesn't come out quite right. In fact, she doesn't look like a flying cat at all, more like a mutant lion kind of thing. I'm trying to draw its ears on when it looks at me with its badly drawn eyes and starts growling. Andy, cries Jill, what have you drawn? To tell the truth, I say, I'm not quite sure. Can you talk to it and try to calm down? I can't talk to it, says Jill. It doesn't have any ears. We'd better call Terry. Then I say, help, we both yell. Terry, help, come, quickly. Terry comes running, his laser eraser in his hand. Stand back, he says as he drops to one knee and takes aim. I hereby erase Andy's badly drawn cat. Take that, mutant lion thing, and that, and that, and that. When he's finished, he turns to me and says, you promised you wouldn't draw anything. How do you know I drew it? I say, only you could draw something as badly drawn as that, he says, shaking his head. Well, I wouldn't have to draw anything if you'd remember to draw Silky. I did draw Silky, he says, and all of her friends. Look, they're up here now. We look up. The sky is filled with flying cats. While Jill hugs Silky and all her other flying cats, my jet chair appears and I fly up into the treehouse. It's all exactly as it was before. The tank full of man-eating sharks, the bowling alley, the opera house, even the Once Upon a Time machine. Hang on, the Once Upon a Time machine. What's that doing here? Terry, I yell. Terry appears, closely followed by Jill. What's the matter? He says. That's what's the matter, I say, pointing at the machine. Why did you redraw the Once Upon a Time machine after we went all that trouble to get rid of it? I didn't redraw it, he says. Then how come it's here? I say. Terry thinks for a moment. It must have redrawn itself, he says. Oh, great, I say. Then that means the last 142 pages have all been for nothing. Well, at least it's not switched on, says Jill. Otherwise, they wouldn't have let us into the treehouse. You're right, says Terry. And look, there's a manuscript in the print-out chute. It must have finished our book. Let me see, I say. Me too, says Jill. We read the book. Well, says Terry, what do you think? Action-packed, I say. It's got everything I asked for. The only thing missing is the explosion. I can't wait to read it to the animals, says Jill. They're going to love it, especially chapter 7. It makes you wonder, though, I say. Did everything we just been through really happen, or was it just a story made up by the machine? It sure felt real, especially when Mr. Hee-Haw bit me on the hand. Well, whether it was real or just a story, says Jill, I expect you both learned a very good lesson from all this. What, sister? It's obvious, isn't it, Jill? You are, sister, Andy can't draw. You already knew that, says Jill. He can't count, sister. Obviously not, says Jill. But there's not a moral. Look before you leap, I say. Jill sighs. I think you both better read the book again, she says. So we do. You know, sister, when we're finished, it seems to me that I invented the writing and drawing machine to save us work. But it ended up causing as much trouble and bother than it would have been to just write the book ourselves in the first place. Well done, Terry, says Jill. That's the moral right there. Ugh, I say. That stupid machine put a moral in, and I hate stories with a moral. Speaking of that stupid machine, says Terry, where is it? We all look around. It's gone, says Jill. Something must have stolen it while we were reading the books, says Terry. But who would do such a thing, says Jill. Them, that's who, I say, pointing to a group of fake postal workers making their way through the forest with our machine. Those postmen, says Jill. They're not postmen, I say. They're the birthday card bandits. Now they'll be able to write stories just like ours, but with morals. I thought you said you hated story with morals, says Jill. Yes, I do, I say, but other people love that sort of stuff. Relax, Andy, says Terry. Remember the big toe recognition security feature? If anyone other than us tried to start the machine, it was self-destruct. We hear a loud explosion. Like that, says Jill? Exactly like that, says Terry. Looks like you got your explosion after all, Andy. Yeah, I say. And even better, we're free of the Once Upon a Time machine, and once for all, it can't possibly redraw itself now. Well, I think this calls for a special celebration, says Terry. Great idea, I say. What should we start with? Marshmallows, lemonade, chocolate, waterfall? None of them, says Terry. I got something even better. Follow me. Jill and I follow to the ice cream parlor. Hot ice cream, calls Edward Scooperhands excitedly. Get your hot ice creams. Hot ice cream, I say. But I thought Professor Stupido uninvented hot ice cream. He did, says Terry. But when I was redrawing the universe, I took the opportunity to redraw it. And a few of the other things he had uninvented as well. Jill chooses Raspberry Ripple. I choose Rocky Road. And Terry orders 3 triple scoops of chocolate, double chocolate, and triple chocolate. Wow, says Jill. Hot ice cream is delicious. It's just like cold ice cream, only hot. Yeah, I say, and no brain freeze. Says Terry. Chocolatey. Professor Stupido was crazy to uninvent this stuff, says Jill. Yes, says Terry. I'm starting to think that maybe he wasn't such a genius after all. Terry gasps. Oh no, watch out for that frogpotamus, Andy. He yells, what frogpotamus is? I say, I look up to see a 10-tongue frogpotamus hurtling toward me. Its mouth open wide, everything goes dark, and slimy and smelly. This is even worse than being sneezed on by Terry. Be careful, Terry. Don't hurt it, I hear Jill saying as Terry pulls the frogpotamuses off me. What about me? I say. You'll be fine, Andy, says Jill. But frogpotamuses are delicate and easily frightened. Then why did it jump on my head? I say, because it wanted some of your ice cream, says Jill. Frogpotamuses love hot ice cream. Everybody knows that. Well, I didn't, I say, wiping frogpotamus spit off my face with the handkerchief. Terry drew me, and I don't like frogpotamuses. Don't be mean, says Jill. I think it's cute. You can have it if you want, says Terry. Really, says Jill. Yes, I say, from now on, the treehouse is a frogpotamus-free zone. Thanks, Andy and Terry, says Jill. See you both later. She climbs onto the frogpotamus's back and whispers it into its ear. It jumps out of the tree and hops into the forest. So that all worked out pretty well, says Joe. Terry, not only did we get today's hot ice cream, but Joe got a new pet frogpotamus, and we got our book. Yes, I say, expect that it's almost 5 o'clock, and there's no way we're going to be able to get it to Mr. Big Nose on time. Yes, there is, says Terry. How? By flying beach-road, of course, says Terry. He whistles and 2 brand new shiny flying beach-roads whoosh up and hover in front of us. One for me and one for you, says Terry. Wow, I say, thanks, Terry. But what about the vegetable vaporizer? Won't it vaporize them? Beetroots are vegetables, you know. No problem, says Terry. When I redrew the vegetable vaporizer, I added a flying beetroot override switch. Brilliant, Terry. I say, let's go up, up, and away. Will you tell me about the rabbits now, Andy? Says Terry. Sure, I say. But first I want you to talk about adding another 13 stories to the treehouse. You mean we're going to make a 52-story treehouse? Says Terry. Yes, I say. If that's what 39 plus 13 is. Yes, exactly what it is, says Terry. And then you'll tell me about the rabbits? Of course, Terry. I say, I promise. The end.